Like for me, this is Screg Numisu and Tandra, but like Screg like far earlier. Like man, good. Thank you for volunteering this information. But the man, like if you're gonna go for that route, like, but I'm saying, yo, if you go that, then do it properly. Like slap that Screg in there. Hello people, Linker here, and today as you saw we're going to rate your boxes. What better way to improve than hearing me flame people online for their life decisions? Definitely like and subscribe for many in-depth AFKArena tips, and if you have the courage to join us on Twitch where this all takes place, the link's gonna be in the description below. Stick with us until the very end for a very detailed breakdown of some hot takes, and for now, Twitch Linker, take it away. Okay, so we're gonna look at your boxes. Quick reminder of the rules. What's gonna happen is we just like, if you want to be in, you just add Sasha and put an image of your box. Everybody has a chance. So for the first box review of today, let's see what's gonna happen. Who's it gonna be? I saw JustA and Arrow with the very first one. Arrow, what chapter are you at? Just so that we have some of the background. Do you have any like final excuses before we talk about the box? 3340 something. So 3340 something is where you're already running against 5 sets. And the 5th set at 3340 something is going to be pretty weak, which means that you don't have to have 5 sets right now, like all viable. So let's look at that first part of the box, right? The top 5. We're seeing the Hot Chimera plus 20 plus 3, which is a little bit iffy. You gotta love it. A little bit iffy, but good for TR, I guess. That's nice. The Tasi, we talk about this, but the benchmark for Tasi is 15 if you take her there. It's also 30 if you want. Because Tasi, like, obviously one thing you want to remember about Tasi, let me show you this quickly, chat. Tasi has haste, and a lot of haste on her furniture. And she gets that at level 5, 15, 25. So level 10 bonus is only like 5% extra minus attack. It doesn't make sense. But level 15 makes sense. Level 25 makes sense. Level 30 makes sense because this bonus is actually big. And level 5 makes sense. Level 10, if it's level 10, then we flame. We riot, chat. That is bad. Okay, up next, we see Arthur not 30, but probably invested towards that. We have some hot hero picks. So definitely, like, Arrow is an OG player. He had the time to ascend a whole bunch. And here we have the first one that's a little iffy. So Khazard to 20 is going to be a little bit on the spicy side. But obviously, like, all the other top heroes you see over here, like, you see the Tasi level of investment, you see the Slika plus 20 plus 3, you see the Feral, you see the Rowan. Everything makes overall sense. Like, you see the Damon. Personally, 11 plus 30 plus 20 is like a normal pick. Gwyneth probably plus 25 because this is a man of culture we're dealing with. Aaron at full investment. Everything just pretty sensical. Like some of these I would probably move around. Like maybe Sophia I would move into Arthur or something. Arthur is a dimensional, so like Sophia into Damon makes sense to me. But like also there's Ainz and Albedo. He's probably working on those. We do see the Athalia before the Aziz, so we do see some minor mistakes. But overall this man does have the 5 sets to run, and like you could see there's solid planning in mind. So there's going to be the God Comp, there's going to be Ainz, there's going to be a despicable cheeser. Terrible. But I guess I can understand it. There's Isol, there's Aaron sets, there's pretty much a complete Gwyn set, just missing Arthur. There's the Damon. So love to see it. Good box overall. I would actually rank it as solid 7.5 out of 10. There are some iffy decisions here, but overall, like you could see presence of mind with this one. What a solid start to this one. So usually there would be more dishes, but Arrow I think made good decisions. We do see like the next plan ones also make sense. Like he's probably stargazing Lucretia now. Like clear presence of mind, just has the plans. You can see where he's stuck for fodder, but it's not stopping him from getting those key heroes, right? Because he prioritizes, right? So he does have the Thoran and Isold from the Graveborns. He does have the Saurus and Aaron from the Wilders. He does have the Damon invested, the Rowan. So like all the checks that are like necessary are there. And now is the point where you really cut it to the end game and start grabbing some like luxury stuff, like this Lucretia that, as you can tell, he's investing into. Lovely stuff, Arrow. Good stuff. Athalia is way long ago. Well, at the time, Athalia was the OG. Now we know it's Aziz. I also invested into Athalia more than Aziz because before there was the God Comp and Talene and Saurus. That was the meta. But now we know Aziz is better. So that's that. Let me just quickly enhance my voice chat. Alright, now you can hear me better. This is going to be Sasha, just so that you guys know. And we're going to give him 2 good shuffles, just for good measures. And we're going to do another pick. Yo, guys, are you ready? This is going to be drum rolls. And start. All right, so we're going to find the name, and we're going to do the review to the box. We're going to say what's wrong. We're going to say what's good. And Darius is going to win this one. Darius, one of the, like Mareko or Darius, is one of the people getting strong in the Discord recently. Also pretty strong in the stream. And today we're going to look over their box. We're going to see the hot takes. We're going to see the cold takes. We're going to see what makes sense. We're going to see what doesn't. Darius, do you want to give us some background? Like, do you have anything you want to preface this with? Do you want to kind of talk us about where you are in campaign? Or are we just diving right into it, kind of roasting some of these picks? Because this one's going to be interesting. Like, there's a lot good and there's some interesting, as you can tell. So we see both Joker and Queen a little early. I'm detecting the scent. If you smell very good here, if your sense of smell is really good here, you can detect a whale in the making, because he has both the dimensionals. He wouldn't exchange for one of them. It's good value, but having them this early, I can smell a whale over here. Obviously, box very full. This is an issue people don't consider a lot. Because when you're stuck for fodder, your box gets so overloaded. At that point, I would definitely consider like sacrificing some stuff like, I don't know, like Isabella if you have spare copies. You know, like these Isabella copies. I would definitely like sacrifice them to make something better. So let's talk about it a little bit. Chapter 27, 3-month thing, got lost copies, prioritizing the good ones. So about prioritizing the good ones, my man. That might work for you right now, but Darius, you are a close watcher of my channel. I expected you would know better than this over here. This is a little iffy. Like, all right, so when you see this on an OG, like when you see this on somebody that's playing for like a year, like you anticipate, look, like it's fine. Like if you play for a year and just grab Chimera for TR, it's fine. But here we're talking about a guy that has like barely like 9, 10 ascended, 8 ascended, something to that effect. And when you have that much, you really need to pick every single hero. And this man's like highest ascended hero. Am I right? I think that's the highest ascension. Is going to be Chimera. But that's a little bit iffy. I would definitely spec into carriers. Like, you know the drill. I would invest the signature item materials into Damon. Spec all those stars into Damon. Get the Silas. Get you a Feral. Get you all the good stuff. Also, like your box is overloaded. Definitely consider using Ascended Heroes as fodder. This used to be a hot take, but now I think it's pretty safe to say these 2 Isabella copies, you won't be using them until like chapter 33. So why not just like sacrifice them now? Get that short-term progress and kind of carry on from there, you know? You already have the Isabella and the Vidan. You can make an Isabella Legendary Plus and then get some Mythic Feral. And for this, guys, like chapter 27 Mythic Feral is absolutely huge. Alright, so for some more feedback on this box, Namora is one that kind of falls off grace unless she's well invested. I would obviously like Aaron, but a lot of this is not up to you because you don't have access to many choice summons. So having Namora over there is fine. Like in a modern day and age, I would probably prioritize Peepa because the level at which you start benefiting from Namora is pretty late, and people with Tasi we know is probably better at this point. But overall, like decent decisions on Wilders, different like good furniture and signature item investment. Like you could see this man knows Source is really good, so invest the signature item to Source. Tasi's just overall very flexible, enjoys the furniture. Skriath with the furniture just ready for that Aaron Ascension. I would maybe just start considering slapping those signature item materials into a little bit of Sophia. If you do go that Aaron route, there is that Gwyneth. We see the investment into Rowan. He doesn't have a plus 30 yet, but we see the investment into Rowan. We see the investment into Gwyneth. Just overall makes sense. And we're probably going to see an Arthur down below here. Yeah, so we have the Ainz at plus 30. We have the Arthur. We have the Gwyneth. That's the Albedo. And that should probably be enough to carry most of you people up to chapter 31 where you need more sets. So up until then, Darius is in a pretty good road. Already started stargazing for twins. So we're seeing a pretty good decent, like a pretty good presence of mind. We also see him knowing to pick Aziz over Athalia. Many good decisions. Just like slight notes, like start considering using fodder heroes to ascend. Maybe take off that focus if that's Chimera. Make sure you grab that Aaron sometime soon with the amount of support that you have for him. And the Rowan definitely deserves the signature item 30. So these would be my hot stuff, but overall, pretty good box. Considering it's pretty early, the little mistakes are going to count anymore. So this is going to be, I think, a 7 out of 10. A good box. He has a good presence of mind. Got a little bit unlucky. Some stuff that I would change around, but overall, pretty good box stepping towards the end game. If you pay attention and like implement these advice up to like chapter 31, 32, you probably can get your box up to 8, 8.5, 9 out of 10. Easy, which is like really, really good base. This is Sasha. Sasha just sent me a list. I just copy pasted the chat. I didn't do it. Fine. We have the list. We have the least chat. We have the list. My self-proclaimed #1 fan, Jing, already, which is going to be an interesting one. There's Siri, and lastly, Tiny French Dashes and Lean, who just followed. I'm down. Linker will roast because it's me. Yo, sure. I'm going to add you to the list. Let's go. Chat, are you ready for this one? It's going to be random. It's going to come any second. JustA, a Clive cultist, a man of culture, the man of many tongues. Okay, so we see just a Bach. All right. So JustA coming in. JustA, do you want to talk to us a little bit? Tell us about your campaign progress. Tell us where you are. We're seeing this man between the 240 and the 300. You're paving still one set meta. Some interesting decision. Get the Kren reinforcement for the experiment. Absolute man of culture. Like at first sight, this seems good. This is also the point where I start getting the strong Mahira on this one. And this man absolutely ignoring Queen and Joker. Maybe exchanging for both of them if he's free to play. I'll let you guess my campaign. Alright, fine, we can do that. Why do you scroll like a spastic? I'm sorry. I just want to talk about the overview of the account. Alright. I'll start from the top. So starting off, we have the Rowan max investment all the way with the furniture +3, with the +30, just what we like to see, accompanied by the Lucius. Now, obviously, when you make your wish list, you're not in complete control of what you get. While Lucius is a good early game hero that you could have used, it's not the most optimal to have in your wish list. Like, obviously, it's like stuff like Estril to take over that, a lot of other things take over that, but still, like you can't expect much better than that. Like, the man is not specifying into that with a signature item. He's not making the mistake of wasting your precious signature items and heroes that eventually get dim linked. He has the Lucius ascended, but probably using him correctly. Pretty aware that he's gonna get less useful later. Now, I don't know if this is on purpose, but you can see that he doesn't get any hero stars. This is a known strategy. You could either do it or not. There's arguments to both ways, but seeming pretty mindful. Now, as for the mythic bench, all of these are very viable good heroes to have. All of these are like around the middle or above the middle. All of these are like the bread and butter of your Lightbearer wish list. Gwyneth, I'd like to see some more signature item investment into, but I'm really nitpicking here because this Lightbearer set looks wonderful. As for Maulers, 2 strong Maulers, Drez and Skralf both like competing. I personally, I have 5 Maulers that I would choose over Drez, but he's like a closed 6 slot. And you also see many of them here. So there's going to be Scrag, there's going to be Warwick for the tree, and there's going to be Titus, which I really like in 5 pull. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Drez, but some accounts spec into it decently successfully. And as you can tell, like this man is aware of this. He's running Drez probably as a carry, like popping his furniture, popping signature item. If I'm you, I'm a little bit careful here. Like if I get a bunch of good heroes, maybe I consider running other stuff if you're just all around endgame progression. But overall, like the Sophia is looking pretty decent. The Skriath probably ascending, like, and looking forward to get his furniture. Wilders looking wonderful. Like we can see the source specking in the signature item, not furniture, for this TR progress. Also much stronger in the hero. We see the Aaron, not still +30. Obviously, the signature item is kind of an equilibrium where you want his +30 as early as possible. But it's probably like on their way. Like if I had to guess, this man is trying to get either Aaron or Source right now. Damon +20 is fine for the beginning. Same for Feral. We see the Nara reinforcement. Nara reinforcement is interesting. And the Isold. Oh, this man likes Isold. I mean, it's not negative per se. It's just interesting, I guess is all I can say. At that point, though, if you do, like, I understand, like, you got Isold and Odin. If you do still have Odin on your signature, like, on your wish list, I would 100% remove him for something like Silas, something like Rezel that you really need. Or Thorin if you want to be a despicable cheeser in the future. Alright. So for the Celestials, just a bunch of randoms that he did get. Maybe twins that he's starting to gaze, I don't know. But obviously just Celestial bench. And we see Mahira over here. A lot of it. I don't know if you're gazing for it because you really like Mahira. Maybe you just randomly got it. It's not like at the point where it has to be one or the other. Also, we see Aziz over Athalia, what we like to see. No Arthur yet. All 3 Dims, no Arthur yet. Probably planning to exchange for both other Dims and eventually get Arthur from the lab. Very decent. Now that you got them, you might even consider like really boosting those signature items, especially Irons and Albedo. These like can carry you all the way to the very late game because obviously this is a less advanced account than the other ones we've seen in terms of progression. And so if you have a lot more room, like if you right now just boost Irons and Albedo, you could like do the dream early to mid game where all you're doing is you just have Irons, Albedo, and Rowan, and that's it. And then you could just grab things and you're at no rush whatsoever. It's like the dream. Like you're at no rush to complete your set. You just have Irons, Albedo, and Rowan, and the rest kind of goes its own way. We can also see the level 69 Silas. All right, I don't know what I think about that usage of XP right there. A little bit questionable, but maybe there's you have your own goals. As for the wish list, so light bearers, we see all of these. Okay, so indeed, this man does not have like Rowan. He's not aiming for stars. That's a fine approach. Note that the 2% stars give is like heavily underestimated. So on some heroes that carry, like Aaron, like Isold, I would deeply consider it. But nonetheless, the list is pretty good. Like you see the Gwyneth, like the Rain that goes well with the Irons, the Rosaline that's good overall. Estrella to get copies. Cecilia I would consider replacing. Let me see back what light bearers you have. I would consider getting another Hendrik, for example, just to like get him to Ascended when you can. He's really good with the Gwyneth. You'll probably end up getting pretty soon. But yeah, but overall, like light bearer is decent. Mahler, just like from an easy look, I can tell this is pretty much what I would do. Looks good overall. I can see you also remove Drez. Yeah, Drez I wouldn't put back in there. He's a decent carry, but you have much better decisions. Unless it's like a personal decision of yours. Alright, as for the Wielders, this is looking overall really, really good. I'm not seeing a Leica. Do you have a Leica? Yeah, he has a Leica. Okay, fine. Alright, so I'm not seeing a Leica, but that's perfectly fine. As for the Graveborns, now this is the only point that's really, really contested. Do you want to explain to me why you have a Dan and Sylvina there? Because if I'm you, I put all kinds of like Ascended heroes there. Like I put, I don't know, do you have Salas in there? Do you have, like I put Isold in there, right? And then if you end up getting his copies, you can use them like as fodder. Like you always have the option to use those copies as fodder if you want. I mean, getting Ascended heroes is just strictly better because if you grab fodder, like the only option you have to do with it is fodder. And if you have Ascended heroes, you can always like sacrifice them if you think it's best that way. But you also get the decision to put more stars, get more carries. So yeah, so that, like I would definitely remove Sylvina and Vidan from there. Probably slap on something like, I don't know, a Thorin. Do you have enough copies of Thorin? Oh, he already has enough copies of Thorin. So virtually anything, like even like a Kelther if you don't like stars. Damon probably, Isold probably. I mean, unless you have something super specific in mind, like that one talk I had with Vixen, we have an elite copy and you're trying to get like one elite copy of that fodder just to ascend it. There's just no point, you know? If you're gazing Mahira, I would definitely gaze twins before that. They're just more flexible. Signature items, and he was overall pretty correct. Like there's Dress that's a little spicy, and there's Lucius that might be unlucky. Also, there's the Hendrik copies that I would grab from the wish list. As it is now, I think we're talking about a solid 7.5 out of 10. If you make these changes and things go your way and you get lucky, you can definitely boost it up towards like the 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 in no time. And you can approach the endgame even with better than that. So a lot of potential from this account. As for my guess for campaign progression, I'm really not sharp on these level ranges. These are the ones I really don't remember. I think this is like chapter, 27, I would guess. Is this 27? My guess would be it's 27, maybe 28. Oh, 30. The man is really pushing it. Okay, so my guess was 27, 28, but the man is at 13, 21. So really close to those two sets. So he should put the foot down on the gas and start seriously gazing, is the other note. Knowing that, I would seriously start thinking about gazing stuff like Twins and Lucretia. I mean, I know that's not consensus, I'm an early gazer, but I deeply believe you'll benefit from that. But Sasha, I'm a little bit sus of this arties. I don't think anybody contributed to have this many arties with a different spelling too. Like, watch this guy. He's genuinely sneaky. Like, he put arty like this, and arty like this. So different capitalization so that I don't catch it. This man. I didn't even ask for this. Sasha knows. It's like the mafia. It's like the mob. You don't need to ask for it. It just kind of happens. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna be? Am I gonna get next? And it's Jing. Like level 403. You're talking about end of chapter 34, maybe even 35 if you're really, really strong at it. We see plenty heroes. Let's just quickly overview the box. Just quick looks. We see a wide variety of heroes ascended. We see also a mythic bench. That's pretty slim. And also a few fodder heroes, as well as the tree that we'll talk about. Chapter 35. So just at the end of 34, 35, I was right on the money. Here's the start of 35. This is about where you anticipate people will be at this point. Some whale, man. I don't think this is a whale account, actually. I'll tell you why. Like, I'm sorry for the frantic, but you see these tree levels? These are the tree levels that you anticipate from like a medium spender who doesn't focus on trees. This is like a medium spender who doesn't focus on trees, or an F2P that's his whole life is trees, is what this looks like. Start with the core. So the top 5 all look perfect. Like, there's the deep investment into Aaron. Like, if you get a 9, I would also get a 30 just for the extra damage, but it's a flavor pick. There's some of these that do like take some tweaking here and there, but obviously when you maintain a big furniture and a wish list, you can't control for it as much. Like Iron's furniture, maybe a couple levels on Ezio, maybe it's furniture. We see a despicable cheeser over here. Obviously, you anticipate having those 5 different sets on this account, probably usually like 6 or more at that point. Then we start to get into the warmer picks of this. Spicy, maybe even some hot takes. So we do have this section of the box specifically I want to focus on. So the Cassis plus 20, the Ukiyo plus 30, the Chimera plus 20, the Isabella plus 20, the People Reinforcements is interesting, by the way. This is perfect, by the way, dim fodder. Like, perfect dim link. You know, these are like the bulk of the hot takes. Zorath, but he did say, Jing did clarify that he's at 27 on that right now, so he's working on 30, so that we can't really flame. Also, heavy investment into Squiat, but Damon still 20. Like, do you really want to make the case to me, Jing? Because signature items you completely control. Do you really want to make the case to me that Ukiyo signature item 30 is better than Damon? Because if you do, that's going to be a spicy take. That's going to be a spicy take. Isabella was great before Damon ISO DDC came out. Yeah, so this account is obviously like a little older. So some of the hot takes now you can account for just by saying, look, like at the time, the meta wasn't as solidified. So like some of these do make sense. Like some level does make sense. But then there's stuff like newer heroes, like stuff like Ukiyo that's relatively new, that is plus 30, which is kind of a hot take. Or Cassis. But obviously like he's able to use that account. So we're seeing like 5 sets. He has the Aaron set, has the Thorn set, terrible, but you do you. There's the Ein set, like easy to recognize just looking through this one, right? This is going to be the Damon set. Damon's going to be here below. Damon can use some love. This is going to be the God comp at base level. Athalia over Aziz in this one, but he corrected, because at the time when we just started out, Athalia was over Aziz. This doesn't count as a mistake, because virtually everybody did it. It was like the better one at the time, before the meta was introduced like it is nowadays. And the God comp. So pretty solid teams. We see a good support bench. We see good substitutes. The man already has orthos, leveling up on the Zorath. Good investments on furniture too. Some stuff that I would improve, obviously like Sophia 20, Squias 30 before Damon. We see the Gwen at 30 instead of 25. Ukiyo 30, and stuff like that. But overall, like the account really makes sense when I look at it like that. Really makes sense. Going forward, like the main picks you'll have to do is probably like, obviously like I would Stargaze Lucretia if I were you. Just for the extra flexibility, you already have the core to run it. It's going to be an extra set in those more difficult stages. Like there's some stages where, because like for example, the Damon is not completely invested, and so like odd heroes like Flora are not completely invested, the Lucretia is going to be an asset. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I do see you focused a lot on getting the heroes and the resources, but I think maybe in some of these events you should start looking into getting trees, because at that range, those tree levels are a little bit low. Because if I get the vibes correct, you should be around VIP 13 or 14. He used Ukyu in one stage since his release. Yeah, so that was a bit of a hot take. Rank 1 in all the tier lists. I'm close to tier player time. Alright, that makes sense, of course. Currently gauging Lucretia, yes, VIP 13. So I was right on the money with that one. That tells me that you did not focus Twisted Essence on some of these events, and you should start doing it, because when you have this level of hero flexibility, it's just going to be the power, both in PvP, when you can start facing for stuff like Legends Championship if you want, and in PvE, where like certain abilities are going to be really key, like Might 37 you don't still have, 42 to 32, then 47 and 37 in the middle, then sorcery to like 25. All of these are going to be important later. Sustenance to 62. And eventually, if you want, you can even focus on one tree level for specific events, which Grub likes to talk about as optimal. But obviously, it's about time for you to start focusing on these. Yeah, because your max tree levels almost 77. Once you get 77, you'll be much more competitive. And that specific slot is crucial for certain events. But looking good overall. Jing. I like it. I would grab like some signature item level 1s here. I would probably focus on Damon and Zorath. Some hot takes. Some stuff that's just old. I would probably get Iron's Furniture sometime soon. But looking good. Good stuff, Jing. Good stuff. Overall, what I would rank the account. So there's some mistakes, but then you have to account. This is a difficult one to rank because there's some mistakes, but you have to account for the fact that this man is playing for 2 years. The meta has changed in those 2 years. You can't count like, I don't know, like these people, if you see a Shamira 20 on a guy that's playing for 2 years or more, you can't really say that's a huge mistake because at the time it was meta. When signature items were introduced, if you're at chapter 25 or something, like you had nothing better to tell. So I have to deduce some of the mistakes from the deduction of the overall ranking. I think we're going to put it as a solid 7 out of 10. There are some hot takes, there are some mistakes, there's some stuff that's just like a little weird, like this Ukyu over here, and like some of the Muller investments, but overall, like clear presence of mind. There are some stuff that I would optimize, like the tree is looking good overall, like the levels that he did hit, but you should start focusing on tree with everything that you have so that you can run into things. Having that said, you did get to chapter 35, so you're doing great. As you progress forward in that late game, I'm not much ahead of you myself. You'll be looking forward to just grab key parts of that certain sets that you're still missing, like that Lucretia, like some tree levels, and that will really allow you to compete in those levels. If you're liking this, definitely consider tossing in a follow. I absolutely appreciate it. So that would really, really help me if you do that. If you can, cheering too. Pafka, thank you so much. Appreciate it. That is absolutely awesome. I really need you people's help. If you follow me, it'll help me hit the Twitch goals. And then I'll be a better streamer and I could do some more fun things for you, produce more content here. So that's fun for everybody. Let's see. Who is it going to be? Sorry. Names are flying. It's going to end any moment. The man. Rory is an endgame player. Chapter 33, 34, are you? There we go, Rory. Absolute. Rigged and easy. This man, let's go. So this one is, I think, is going to be instructive for you people because it's right around the edge where most people are. Also, Rory is one of the people that has been watching my channel a lot. Okay. We have the Rory box. Just quickly scrolling just to know what we're looking at. And we see the wish list. Then there's the furniture wish list we can talk about. You're probably questioning these 5 head peaks. These are all going 9 out of 9. The man. Okay. I'm going to quickly scroll all the way to the start. Okay, let's talk about it. So 375, this is definitely chapter 34 territory. This is chapter 34 territory. Maybe about to pick with the 34, but I bet he's at 34 by now. So Rory has been playing for a while, but we see an overall solid, like starting off solid. Like the Belinda taking off the crystal, like the level of disrespect. Like even, like you're not even good enough to be Deem Fodder. Like you're not even on the crystal. Like the complete and utter abandonment of this hero. That is wonderful. So, Strilla with no signature item? I don't know, I would move from Fox to Strilla, but that's just like a hot pick. Obviously, to move from Lucius and Belinda. These are just earlier stuff. Okay, Rowan looks good. Overall looks good. Gwyneth plus 30. Personally, I like it to 25, but you could do 30 if you want. Overall, fine. Belinda best dim fodder? Yeah. I have no slots for her. Alright, alright. Then just a bunch of fodder. Here, the Satrana library saving for the next Euro release. Okay, what do we have? The Mahler Priors Antandara Screg Numisu. My man. Okay, let's talk about it. So, Antandra first. We do see the Skriaf +3, we do see the Brutus Ascended, so he has like the core stuff to use. We do see the Sophia. The Titus I would invest in a little bit more for the 5-fold, but the Satrana Ascended. How often do you use that Satrana? Let me ask you actually. How often and in what set do you use it? Is it actually, like, do you actually find usage for that? Because in your box, you're not at a complete whale point where you can just like fragment the God comp with like Orthoses and Talines and Zoroath like left and right and center. So Titus +30 after Silas. Okay. So I triggered RP. I told him, why didn't you invest in Titus more? So he's like, Titus +30 after that. Like the man is determined. 100%. Mahler Tower God. Okay. Well, Cassus I think is over Ascended, but he's good dim link material. Like I would remove him from the wish list as like Ascended. That's whatever. All the count 2 can still justify that. Satrana, good hero overall. Harder probably to use in campaign with less flexibility. Like you'd probably like better off like transferring that into Titus with your specific box. But looks good overall. Like you could probably sometimes flex her into God Comp and stuff. Maybe use her with like Daemon and things. Antandra Screg Numisu. Now, explain this to me. Antandra over Screg? But you can like just push Screg now, right? Like this is Elite Plus, this is Legendary Plus, and this is Ascended. You can get Ascended Screg and the furniture and all of that. And if you do have the Satrana invested, this is actually like one of the hottest investments of the year. Like screw rework Antandra, she's actually not that good. Why are you not doing Screg? Route, like I can't criticize you for going the Satrana route, because it's a valid route. It's like, it's the road less taken, but it's a valid one. Like for me, this is Screg Numisu Antandra, but like Screg like far earlier. Like man. Good. Thank you for volunteering this information. But the man, like, if you're gonna go for that, but I'm saying, yo, if you go that, then do it properly. Like, slap that Screg in there. Like, if I'm you, like, I prioritize Screg furniture, I prioritize Screg Ascension, like, all the way. I'm buying into the Antandra hype. What Antandra hype, dude? She's not good. Like, she's like niche viable, but that's niche viable. It's not like the Satrana Screg comp. Like, that's an actual stalker that works, you know? Like if you really like Antandra, then I'd be like, all right, build her like instead of Cassus here, like some of the tech picks, you know. But really over Screg, like over Screg with these models, I would definitely do Screg first. I would probably do Antandra third there, but you know, okay. So on to the Wilders. One note that's recurring here is if you do like a 9, I would do it to 30 because she's able to do damage at that point. We see the Aaron. We see the Saurus at signature item 30. Tasi, I hope that's 25, not 20. Or you have plans to do it 25. We see no investment in these two. That's perfectly fine. We see the Kaz. So yeah, so some of these are weird. Like Kaz over Gorbo, for example. And Pipa. But Pipa is new. So some of these are a little bit weird, you know. Some of these are a little bit of weird champ picks. But nonetheless, like overall, like very sound. Like there's not much to criticize. Antandra is 15 years old. I don't know people where you're taking this chat. Antandra has them curves. Please. What is the Satrana spread comp? Okay, so Satrana comp, the comp I'm talking about, allow me to show you. Let me quickly just do this here. Yeah, I have bed tree and bed signature item, bed furniture, Satrana. Yeah, but allow me to demonstrate with perp. I don't know if perp is here, but allow me to demonstrate. So Screg and Satrana. Both of these are invaders. And here, I need virtually anything. I don't have a good Cassus, sadly. I'll do Athalia for more invade power. But I think the Satrana will go to town. I think this is going to be a good demonstration. You know? And here, like, I don't know, like, and it's just like this. I have lower power because my stuff is uninvested. But as you can see, like Satrana alongside the whole team is like on the enemy side. So this is going to be winning even from behind against this meta team. I do have higher trees, I think. But this is the comp you want to run Satrana in. Definitely, I would invest into Screg here. Like, no doubt. Burst is so OP. That's correct. The Joker variant that we showed on Grub was funny. Like, it's good. It works. Okay, so we were at the Rory's Wielders. I would definitely get Gorvo some investment. He's good in Burst. Alright. So for these... signature item on Grezel. I get that you buy into the hype of Grezel like you do on Tandra. I'm not sure if it's going to be as viable as you hope it to be. Shamira you can justify because RP has been an OG player. He's been around for a while, and at the time Shamira was good. Salas I can see her specking into, and that's correct. Health and not too much investment is fine. Isabella's just probably an old mistake. You didn't fall into that. Here, Aziz before Athalia. Like re-specking into Aziz early enough to actually rip the benefits. We do see relatively late gazing from Rory. Like at this point, I would anticipate that Mahiro would be like around Ascended, or you'd have a Lucretia, like more invested. So, you know, slightly late gazing, but he does invest into those gazed heroes. Rez was first Ascended plus 20. Alright, that's fine. When is face reveal coming? At 10k subs. Sasha isn't here. Awkward? No, he actually did what he should have done. Linker finally showing niche comps, was focused on the replay. Alright, not an issue. Not an issue. That was Cassis for me. Alright. So yeah, so Invade with Maulers is actually really, really good. This is why I advocate Scrag. He also has enough for Ascended. So that is what I would do. Waiting for Peepa copies on the Wielders. Alright, makes sense. I also wait for some more Gorvo copies. And that guy. Here, alright. So a bunch of like early game stuff. I can't really judge how much of this is early game stuff and how much of it is bad. Probably the most of it is like early game stuff, so we didn't know what's going on. Talis then Odin priority. I definitely agree with that. I think this is right on top. Talis then Odin. Perfect. Alright, so what are you gazing for? Was gazing Zoroth, but now gazing Lucretia? Okay. So he caught the gazing guide in time. He did start gazing late, but he is going to get the Lucretia. He even got to experiment with it. And now he probably knows. RP probably knows why I overhyped this hero. I think it's really, really hot. A Satrana Flora comp is exactly what I was going for since I started the game, and now it falls onto my lap. Alright. Yeah, Satrana Scrag Flora. It works. Albedo plus 30 after next shop reset. Okay, then fine. And this is perfectly fine. Also Joker before Queen. We see the Eyes investment. Arthur not completely at level. I would do Ezio before Naka if you actually care. But yeah, Arthur probably getting the investment in the soon time. As for the library heroes, I guess you don't just have match to grub, so I trust you. This is fine. Here, iffy, but alright, we'll do it. Police, I mean, you're running out of, Wilder heroes, and this should be fine too. As for the furniture, this is a bunch of hot take. Cecilia, I know it's bugged, but it's not that good. You're not investing into this hero. Satrana, alright, fine, you do you. Isolde, whatever. Silas, whatever. Odin, come on, man. Like, I know he was buffed, but man, the hype on this guy. Like, he didn't even get Zoroth yet, you know? He's about to get Zoroth, and Zoroth is nowhere here to be found. And Tandra, you're completely falling for the hype train here. Hedis, look, and Grezel. I would change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least. And then I would probably change also, like, the Satrana. Probably, but you can do Satrana if you want. So that aspect is fun, but I would at least change 5 of these. But RP is here with the counter, saying, you're probably questioning these 5 head picks. These are all going 9 out of 9. Yeah, I would do Zoroth here, but whatever. Satrana is my boo. Okay. Well, overall ranking, I would say here, I think this is another 7. A couple things that I would fix, like, alright, all picks make sense. A couple of the planning, so because we took more into account, there's more room for mistakes. So like the planning, like some of the stuff he said, like about Maulers, I think is a little bit too spicy it takes for me. Overall, good investments, nonetheless, going strong. The furniture wish list is full of hot takes, like the whole thing, like half of the thing is hot takes, I would switch. But there's presence of mind, and a bunch of it's like early game mistakes, so you have to account for that. And you can see RP is taking this account. Maybe if you get Damon plus 30, your account can be much, much, much greater. If you do that, your account will be much, much better. If you get Damon plus 30, we can negotiate. But right now, it's going to be a 7 out of 10 account. All right. And people, so today, I think we had a lot of fun. We talked about quite some things. We demonstrated quite some things. We had niche synergies in the chat. We did box reviews. Obviously run ! Box please consider following or cheering the channel because I do want to hit those Twitch goals if you enjoy it. And YouTube link is back here to remind you to like and subscribe if you like this video. Gotta beat the algorithm. Let me know below if you'd like another one, since I have a lot more footage that didn't run into this because it's already becoming like a 14-minute vid. Thank you for watching, and for now, I've been Linker. Peace.